Esta conferencia comenzará a grabarse.
So welcome everybody to the new relaunch of the European Alliance Against Coronavirus morning sessions. I'm really glad to be here with you. Not so much for the crisis, not at all, for sure. This is a group that is answering a crisis, and it would be far better if we were focused only on the recovery phase, but everyone knows that we are still on a crisis, and we need to still answer some of those aspects that are related to the health system, the vaccines problems, and many other urgent points for our society. So it's important to keep that in mind. But as during the last session past year, we need also to look ahead, and I am really glad and honored to have been part of the construction of this forum, okay? Together with Ula, with Marek, with many of you, we have built something that is strong, resilient, as we can see, and able to offer or to deliver some results. So that's why we are here again, to continue to grow, to improve, and I'm proud also of you, okay? And I wanted to start with just these few words for you. I will now give the floor to Ula and Marek that will update us on their views on the policy activities from the European Commission, but also for what they think that we can do from here, from the cluster community, but not only the cluster community, but this group that is far wider than that, okay? And later I will point you some ideas, also some updates from the European Cluster Alliance activity. And as usual, we will end this session with the floor open to your participation, to your questions, your suggestions. So welcome again. And now, Ula, I will give you the floor. Welcome.
Good morning, and good morning to everybody. And I'm also very pleased to be back and to start again this really interesting discussions. On the slides, Antonio, can you give the rights to Marek, because we have a joint presentation? And I don't know, Marek, can you join the presentation, or do we need somebody from your?
I'm
okay.
Okay.
We are seeing your screen,
okay.
Marek.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we first of all, we think it is extremely useful to continue this discussion. We have had great experience and also great input from your side last year, and now we continue, and we are really counting on the input provided by you, and also to use you as a sounding board and to discuss and to have this in an interactive manner. We wanted to start by raising the awareness of that there are websites on the European Commission related to the COVID, and we think it is interesting and good for you to be able to use what exists, like the recovery dashboard, the different overviews on state aid, then there is a map, Reopen Europa. And as we know that these slides afterwards remain accessible, I'm not now going through these slides because for this we wouldn't have time, but it's just to make you aware that there are central European Commission websites where this kind of information will be stored. Then on the next slide, we give you an overview of the presentation we have compiled with topics which we think are really important, and Marek will then go through these different points. And of course, no doubt, we think it's important to start with the financial background, the multi-annual financial framework, because since the last meetings, several of the programs have been accepted, have been adopted. So then the work on this can start soon. And of course, for us, important, the single market program, but also many other programs. But of course, and then also the work on the recovery and resilience facility, because we know, and we have talked about it a lot last year, that this is such a big program. But then we also have a lot of policy development with an update of the industrial strategy coming in March. And with also the fact that yesterday the industry forum was held, but I'm sure Antonio will give his life experience from there later on. And as well as briefly show you the European Commission management plan. And then we have concluded the expert group for clusters with a report, and we will quickly update you on this. And then another important function, and I think that's why it is also so important to continue with this kind of meetings. And let's not forget this. We have on one hand, of course, all the recovery work, but still the alert function, because Antonio, you said it also in the beginning, we are still in the crisis. So getting the signals from the cluster community remain as important as last year. And we are building on this to really, maybe at the end of each meeting or at the beginning of each meeting, to ask what are signals which you can share with us. And then another point at the end is the different ways of how can we build capacity. So I leave it like this. That's an overview of what we think is important, and we want to quickly update you. Over to you, Marek. Thank you.
Thank you, Ula, very much. This is the overview, as you can see, and let me go shortly through all of these topics. I think this is a good indication about our work program for the whole 2021 and what we will be doing, what kind of themes we'll be facing. So let's start with, of course, now we can be all happy that the MFF agreement was reached, and through the whole process, you see it started in May 2018 when we, as the European Commission, presented the first proposals. Then, of course, in trilogue, European Parliament, European Commission, then came the crisis. And then it was updated with next generation EU in discussions in the Council, and then on 17th of December, adoption by the European Council and the consent from the European Parliament. Now, when we have this framework, we as the European Commission can start preparing the implementing legislation and work programs. And this is exactly what is happening now. The whole Commission is very much in the process of detailing work programs, and we all hope depending on the program, things will start be running from the second quarter of this year, third quarter of this year, when the first calls from this MFF will come. So a huge amount of money, 2 billion euro, unprecedented in the European Union history, and particularly because of this COVID. If you can see the 750 billion, which is topping up on the EU funding, and I would like to put emphasis on this, with 360 billion in loans, meaning if there is a loan, it must be a return. So sometimes I see people are talking about EU spending. I think more appropriate would be EU investment, EU investing, in order to have return, because otherwise, if this is the spending, then we actually have next generation debted EU rather than invested EU. So it's all responsibility for every one of us to invest this money in a way that we can think about the future. So of course, now we, through all this process, and I hope through the year, we can go in detail in each of the programs. as I already said in previous occasions, there is a big cohesion policy part, which actually I see like it's 330 billion euro. I'm not showing it here. And then the other is common agricultural policy, which is 336 billion euro. This is this shared management, which is being developed but implemented by member states at regional or national level. So let me today just point out two direct management programs, which is this new and reinforced priorities, 335 billion, which is have programs where different DGs are responsible for. So the biggest here is of course Horizon Europe. It is 67 plus top up from it is actually 95 billion euro for excellence research, and only in this we can have a session, because there are many fields starting from the different clusters that they have to actually European Innovation Council from the market and the European Research Council from the basic research. Everything, everywhere can be something found for clusters. Then we have what we have other Digital Europe program, of course, 5G, artificial intelligence. We have as well the Invest EU Fund, SME window. We have EU for Health programs. We will have Creative Europe for creative classes, particularly. We have Just Transition Fund. And the one that I want to talk is to point out is the Single Market Program, which we are directly responsible for. And here comes the program where it has this this target to improve competitiveness, but for us, let me concentrate beyond standardization, consumers, food chain, and European statistics on the ones that we will be, as our unit particularly engaged, is this joint cluster initiative, European Enterprise Europe Network, and Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs. These are flagship programs for a single market program for DG GROW, and basically particularly for cluster policy. The direct program that that we are going to launch will be on joint cluster initiative, which is this Euro clusters, and we hope to be ready to launch the call this year, of course. Yeah, and this will be basing on there's not huge budget like 500 million euro like for for the other programs. For us, that's why, because this will be more or less from 100 to 110 million euro in 2021-27. We need to be really very focused on very good projects leading to improvement in collaboration between clusters across Europe, in order to meet challenges related to the critical infrastructure, critical inputs, critical technologies, but as well related to development of our ecosystems. So we will focus on ecosystems, but as well cross ecosystem collaboration. So this is for ULAS, we need our cluster policy team, the main tool we will use, and we want to liaise with, of course, build on synergies from other fundings. So continuing, of course, there is the other part which is related to next generation EU and programs which are resilience and recovery resilience programs which are going to be launched by the member states this year. So all this is a big already big block of our work today this year. Then the other block related to policy development. And policy development, you know, we started as you know, with the publication of the 10th of March. I remember this date exactly because just a week after we had already COVID, and we started all these meetings. We published this industrial strategy and SME strategy. And now, because of all this development through last year, we had to update it. I mean, we have to. We all know. So we are working very hard now in the Commission on preparing the update of this industrial strategy, taking into account particularly the strategic autonomy part, the resilience part, and being learning on all lessons from COVID, pushing, of course, pursuing even harder the green transition and digital transition, and what is as well very interesting to get into more local and place-based dimension. So this is going to be large and very much discussed at the industrial days. The other element of our policy is our work program, and you can all go into the work program and key documents so to see what elements, what are the new legislative initiatives that are related to clusters you would be interested on, and we can put on the discussion in this forum, and revisions of existing legislation. But the strategic goal is the same. It's all what was announced by the strategic priorities of this European Commission. So the European Green Deal, a Europe fit for the digital age, an economy that works for people, a stronger Europe in the world, promoting our European way of life, and new push for European democracy. This all actions, communications, legislations are structured according to these themes. And then, of course, everything goes guided by the 2030 Agenda of Sustainable Development Goals. And now, even more probably pushed with the change in the US and US coming back to the Paris Agreement, I think it will be a big dynamism and push for this as well. So there's the like second area of where we can work on the policy development, and of course the industrial forum, where we have our representative Antonio in the group of 55 members. I hope Antonio will share with us his experience from yesterday. So basically, this is the forum where the co-designing solutions with stakeholders are going to be found. And so this is let me come back. This is this second block. Then we have the third block. This is work of the expert group on clusters. And let me spend a bit more time on this, because this is the topics. You know, we established expert group on clusters in autumn 2018 and 19, and the whole 2020 we worked on finding the priorities and recommendations with this expert group. You know, this expert group gathers representatives from member states, but as well 10 experts, managers of the cluster. So all together we came up with the recommendation paper, and this recommendation paper, published publicly, will be available soon, goes into this, recommends very clearly 15 priorities, yeah, and 15 recommendations. So it's structured in very much in line with the overall strategies of the EU, but concentrate on what clusters can do, and we want to emphasize the leading role of clusters in green transition, so active role, not reactive but active, accelerating the digital transition, so actually the role of clusters in uptaking the digital solutions, and then the thing which came after the crisis, and this forum very much contributed to this building resilience. So if we we have the prolongation of the expert group on clusters work for the whole 2021, and the main goal will be to operationalize these recommendations so that it's concrete. We have if you are talking about the recommendations, we are showing examples, we are giving inspirations for actions, we are incentivizing actions, and I think this is a block which deserves as well in this forum discussion, separate the discussions on each of them. So let me now move to the fourth block, which is this alert function of this forum. I think it had. Sorry, someone is. We had a very. We had the situation for the last year where all the disruptions, particularly between April and June, were identified, and the report, and very good that we codified in this report, because actually it serves as well now to thinking about setting up the mechanism in more agile mechanism within the Commission as well, to getting different signals and then to act. This role we would be very much appreciating from this group as well. Sometimes it can be taken up, sometimes not, but any signals which are coming are important, and probably we will come back as well with things which are coming signals from the different places, like we had the signal on problems with gloves, and you reacted very quickly what kind of producers we have. At the end, it's not an issue at this moment. There could be any other problems, like with other protective equipment, but as well here we can try to find solutions. So and the last fifth block, and the fifth block is related to the capacity building of clusters. And here we have very much we need to embed the clusters into the ecosystems mode of thinking, which will be now one of the bases for working on the industrial strategy. So this in practice, clusters from these ecosystems to work and make the really place in the ecosystem, maybe even the leading place I mean, not maybe, but making this leading place in ecosystems. Then we have all this story with Pact for Skills, and making this role of clusters as in upskilling and reskilling, embedding in the local labor markets, the function which is to be very much developed at local level with charters for so that the clusters are involved. Then we have the dimension of regional and interregional coverage, the smart specialization story, place-based governance, but as well the interregional collaboration. So we have the partnerships, which are commitments of regions to invest together in specific fields. We need to bring the cluster dimension and that put dynamism into this partnerships through clusters. And let me, of course, there's another one on financing, but this is the overview. Why I'm finishing, just giving you more or less the understanding in timing what we can do. So we have advanced technology webinars every week. We will have the expert group on clusters meetings. We will have the industry days. We will have the whole European cluster collaboration platform webinars, as well on capacity building, and this all needs to fit together so that at the end of the day we have quite a good policy toolkit and examples for our operationalization of recommendations of the expert group. So throughout the whole year we count on these meetings with ECA. I imagine we can organize with ECA as well the ad hoc thematic meetings to dive in. We will have the working groups of the expert group where you will be invited in order as well to contribute and discuss on specific parts of these recommendations from the expert group. At the end of the day, we will have as well the finalization of all the programs that we launched 2014. In InnoSoup 1, we have 30 partnerships. We have the European Strategic Cluster Partnerships for Smart Specialization, which 8 of projects are going to be finished and presented this year. For excellence, the running program, and today was the deadline for the new partnerships. The same for Go International. All these generations, the last call we had with the deadline for 2nd December last year, and then SME Strategic Alliance to partnerships to get advanced technologies into the traditional sectors. Then we have this thematic smart specialization partnership meetings as well, developing on the regional dimension. Then we have the new MFF calls, and this will be huge. This will be huge and massive this year. So in order to find out and orientate where and who is giving calls, I think it would be worth for this forum to coordinate the information and awareness raising. Of course, everything is on the web page tender, but I think if you have people who are explaining what is behind the programs and with objective, it's more helpful. Then we have this advanced technology webinars, and then we have as well low carbon action with Latin America and with our DevCo colleagues. So international dimension, let me just finalize with this. We want to go outside EU as well, building the capacity that we can promote our technologies, promote our businesses. So you see here on the list Canada, Taiwan, South Africa, Singapore, something that we have already foreseen. We hope, unfortunately, it won't be physical probably in the first half, but let's hope maybe physical in the next half. We all struggling with this COVID. So this is the overview, and let me finish with this. And I think we would be very happy to hear your feedback and your ideas. And maybe there is something we missed. So thank you very much for listening to me, to Ola and Antonio. I'm giving the floor back to you. Okay. Thanks.
You are very, very welcome, Marek. Really, literally. So thank you to you and to your team. And I think the summary has been magnificent. So everybody knows now what we see for this group and for the cluster community as activities for this year. There are many challenges, many opportunities, and this is the tool, one of the tools to make it easier and stronger. Okay. So I will share now my screen. I will share with you some of our ideas on those points, okay? For your information, we plan to meet every Tuesday and Thursday, again, at the beginning of the day, just between 8:30 and 9:30 Central European Time. But there could be some special sessions. It depends on the interest and the opportunity and we will inform you in advance for those sessions. Okay. We want, as Marek explained, to still work on the COVID crisis for sure, but we will explore the role of clusters in all the European programs, not only those related to clusters, but those that could use clusters as a very good tool to develop and are not directly related to cluster at this moment. Okay. We have, thanks to you and to many of you, we have a long list now of proposed sessions, something like 30. Okay, we haven't scheduled then, still working on it, because we want to remain flexible, you know, and to be able to adapt the sessions and the topics to the most interesting situations that we will be funding in the development of the months. Okay, but this month is, I think, is now closed, and we will try to advance you at least with 2 weeks the main topics. You are, as always, invited to join us in any sessions. Okay. But it's very important, and you could help us to have in every specific session, thematic session, those clusters or other entities most related with it. So don't hesitate, please, to forward the invitation to your contacts, your networks, to share it in LinkedIn or in Twitter or wherever. If you think that is what we are doing is interesting, please help us to spread it. We are taking this year more care of the legal side, so we have asked for the registry, a formal registry on a list if you want to be informed of the program of the morning sessions. So you should go through that registry, or you just can unsubscribe if you are not interested on receiving those invitations. Okay, and it's important to say that we are recording the sessions. Every session will be recorded and published. So if you participate in these sessions, you are agreeing with it. Very important to say. Okay, so there are other tools, and we have launched it just this week, or past week, sorry, ECA Newsletter. This is led by Daniel Cosnita from Romania. Thank you very much, Daniel, for your work. Theodora Gilkova is working in the new ECA website. We hope to have it launched during this month, probably, at least the first version. And so we are working on our communication side. I'm really glad to welcome Carlos Trias, that is here with us, to the cluster community ecosystem also. He is our official representative in the European Economic and Social Committee, in the, I think it's the CMI work group. And we will have occasion to hear him explaining what is that group and how can we use or take the opportunity to translate officially to the European Economic and Social Committee our approaches, our proposal, our ideas. So I'm really glad for this new improvement of our network, of our reaching, and I really thank Carlos for being there, for offering and for taking the responsibility to represent us on this institution. Thank you very much, Carlos. And we are working also, as you know, at this moment two different expert groups. One is the expert group on clusters that Marek described before. And as Marek saw, we have work to do in around 15 phrases, 15 ideas, key ideas that are the recommendation that the expert group has agreed on. And we need to work on them. We need to make them reality, or more than reality, because they are reality, we are convinced. We need to show it and show how to do it or how to improve it. So when we say use clusters as drivers of change, accelerators and enablers of the green transition, we need to show it and demonstrate it. And we need to document it. So the proposal is to use not only, but these morning sessions will be strongly focused to work on every one of these recommendations. Okay, there are three groups. The first one is related to the green transition. Second one is about digital transition. The third one is about building resilience. And we will focus some of our sessions on every one of these points. If you think that you can advance topics or ideas, proposals to be discussed here on every one of these points, don't hesitate to write to us, contact us and propose, okay? Because this is very important. It's how we will demonstrate our capacities. And where are we going to demonstrate them, okay? So there are many areas. For sure, we need to demonstrate them to our regional, national, or international governments. But as Sula said, there is now a big opportunity, a big responsibility in our side, that is that we have been one of the organizations recognized as part of the EU Industrial Forum. You have there the list in the screen. You can see that there are very important organizations. We have never been, as far as I know, in a so high level group, okay? I would say that is top level. I must say also that I feel humble because really the level of the representatives is for me the most, and we need to contribute. It's not only a question of being there, we need to contribute in writing. We need to propose things that make sense, that links with the priorities of the Commission, but also mostly they need to link with our cluster members, with the industry that is working in the cluster environment. So this is a challenge for all of us, because I am there as president of the European Cluster Alliance. We are representing you, and we need to show our capacities. This group will be working for 4 years until 2024, and it will be the center of the, as far as I understand, of the discussion with the industrial ecosystem on policy. So we have the opportunity to put there our ideas, to propose and to be seen. But I need you, for sure, because I'm not so expert, for sure, again. And for example, we have now some challenges I will show you now. I will not be able to answer them properly without you and without the best of you. We cannot speak generally. We cannot repeat what the rest know. We need to be different. We need to show a different approach, because we have it, but we need to be able to write it or to explain it and to convince. That's the challenge. So these are the tasks of the Industrial Forum: to advise on the implementation of the industrial strategy, to contribute in the analysis of the industrial ecosystem. It's very important. So we will invite again those of you working on every ecosystem to join, to think together, to create to express that collective intelligence that you have, okay, on every one of those industrial ecosystems, to find cross-border and cross-ecosystem collaboration, okay, to opportunities. Sorry. And we need to provide recommendation to foster the green and digital transition. And there, in that group, yesterday, every one of the representatives have a lot of important recommendations, very strongly supported, with documentation, with references. And we are not competing with them, we are collaborating with them. But we need to show our capacities. So we need to be also one very proactive and productive contributor to those policies. Okay, so we have now a challenge, a direct challenge. So the Commission has requested us to answer as quickly as possible before the publication of the new industrial strategy update. Okay, that will be in March. So as soon as possible means during these next weeks, we should answer those 3 questions that you have in the screen. What lessons have you drawn from the COVID-19 crisis of relevance for our industrial strategy? And I answered this question yesterday, very short answer from my side, okay, telling them that probably one of the lessons is that resilience is a property of a network. If the network is strongly linked, it's more resilient, more flexible, more able to adapt. But we need to document that. And not only that, many other points. I will say that probably most of the, or all of the 15 recommendations from the expert group on cluster could be transferred to these questions, okay? But again, I need your feedback. I need your proposals, okay? We need it. So what lessons have you drawn from the COVID-19 crisis? How can the ecosystems partnership approach best help to address some of your challenges and build linkages with recovery investments? And here we need to answer how, through our approaches, okay? And what do you see as the biggest obstacles for building up strategic capacities to successfully master the green and digital transition? Again, please don't hesitate to give us feedback on those questions that are, this is key. We need to answer, okay? And I will skip this. It was just a reminding of the ecosystems. And so this is the end of my speech, but not the end of the session at all. Now the floor is open for your comments, questions, suggestions. Please don't hesitate to share with us. Who is the first? Don't be shy.
Yes, Antonio, can I make a question to start only today?
Well,
thank you. No, it's a very, very fast question to Ula and Marek. Congratulations for your presentation. When I asked in the chat about the green input in terms of the industrial strategy, was only to verify if in fact this new industrial strategy that Europe is building will be effective and specifically focus on the green, or it will have other kinds of agendas like the digital and other things. It was only this. Thank you.
I can come in quickly on this. And the update, it's an update of the industrial strategy, and it will be based on what was published in March last year. And there it is the twin transition to foster resilience. So the priorities of the update of the industrial strategy stay. So it is green and digital transition to foster resilience.
Thank you, Ula. Hervé, you were with me yesterday on the industrial forum. Would you comment?
Yes, good morning. I have, to be honest, I have no particular comment or comment, let's say, that could be useful for the for each of you. Nevertheless, I think that based on what Thierry Breton said, I think that being one of the members of this industrial forum is really relevant. And I have heard yesterday a lot talking about ecosystems and innovation, of course. So I think we have these strong, let's say, advantage. I don't want to minimize the importance and of the role of the other members, but I think we are addressing very transverse thematics, and we have this ability to activate quickly actors' position on value chains. So I think we're perfectly aligned to these, and it's really good. And thanks, Antonio, for being the representative of the European cluster community to be in. It's definitely something that will be useful to all of us. So that's the comments I could just share with you. And I think everything is in front of us, and the ECA that was born from this COVID-19 crisis has been very rapidly involved and has been really active for the rapid alert function. So we have demonstrated some capabilities yet already, and very concrete example of serving responses to this terrible pandemic. So we will definitely have to take advantage of this industrial forum, and having you, Antonio, as a member of this expert group is really important. So thank you again.
Merci beaucoup.
Antonio, can I comment? I think it is extremely important what you put here on the screen. These 3 questions, because one thing is to be part of this group, but now you have to fuel this group, meaning, and there comes also the strong part of this group, because it's about collective intelligence. It's about of reaching out to also other clusters, getting engaged in the discussion, and then feeding it back. But I think what we should discuss now is also how are you going to do this? Because these 3 questions and the industrial strategy update will be on the 17th of March. So you don't have much time to input, but you have time to input. So I think, and this was also, let's say, the advantage of the group, to have this flexibility. So have a think how you want to do this, a session on each of the questions to collect input, because this is now the moment. And if you have planned already now the whole February, then you come too late. because the documents will by then be written. So the quicker you are, the better. And I think I invite you now together to think how you can best manage this process, because it's really a great opportunity.
You are totally right. And we need to be adaptable and flexible and resilient. So we need to discuss them. You are right. Suggestions. Well, how would you approach this challenge? The audience, you attendants. What do you suggest?
Antonio?
Hello.
Go on, please. Sorry, I didn't hear who was the first one. Could you? Hello?
Okay, Lucia speaking here. I'll start again. There was somebody else before me, but I can start again. Thank you very much, Antonio, Ula, Marek, for the presentations, for the initialization of the dialogue. Again, we almost missed it over the holidays, and it's good to be able to engage again in this dialogue. And concerning the three questions to gather the input, I think we should make also a plan and to set deadlines. That's something I also wanted to ask, by when should this input provided? We have the possibility now to go as well back to the cluster, to our own clusters. Well, I speak on behalf of the Austrian clusters, also the policymakers involved, and have a dialogue in the country or in the network, and then come back together in one of the sessions and put all these inputs together, and then make it in a written form. And the question is as well, by when Ola gave the answer that it's the 17th of March. And I think we have to do back the back engineering to set up deadlines by when we can, come back with the answers from our own networks or countries on these. So
I'm not totally sure, Ula, perhaps yes, but I would say that we need to answer this month, February, by the end of this month. Ula, would you agree?
That is already pretty late by the end of the month, because as we go in with this kind of papers, it goes in iterations, it goes in inter-service consultations. So I guess they will send you detailed instructions, but by the end of the month is absolutely the latest, and I'm not sure whether they give you until the end of the month. I doubt.
I didn't receive. I know that they told us that they will send quickly instruction, but not yet. I didn't receive them yet. But okay, that's a challenge again, and we need to work quickly on them. Okay.
Okay, can I? Hi, good morning, Antonio. It's Anais speaking.
Oh, bonjour, Anais. Bonjour.
Yeah, good. Wait, I will just say hello to everyone also. It's been a long time. We're still there. So yeah, I'm just gonna follow up on Lucia's comment. So I can send around obviously to get the cluster's input on what's been happening on the three questions, get you back some input quickly, and hopefully we can also, I guess one of the key aspects here is also to provide solutions and not just, let's say, to take the hurdles and what's been and the lessons, but also to ask for concrete solutions, because I think one of the key aspects of let's say the queries that we are receiving are related to the correlation between all these different funds, and especially at regional level to understand really what's going on. And although I guess the regional policymakers are the one responsible to implement, if we can show them that in other regions it works maybe differently or it's better implemented, that will help. But yeah, but count on us. We'll try to make this fast, the reply back to you.
I'm really glad, Anais. Yes, we will do that. We will count on you. Perfect. More suggestions. How can we do it very quickly?
Hello, Antonio, everybody. Alberto speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome, Alberto.
May I, hello to everybody. Welcome back. And just I have a quick reaction at least to the first question, and then we'll of course need to try to elaborate a bit more. Well, if just reflecting very quickly on what are this lesson from this crisis, I think that for me there are at least three main lessons. One that I think this group is already a bit the answer, but we need to go further. That is, we need more knowledge sharing, and knowledge sharing does not mean only talks and sharing documents, but I think that there is a more important hidden treasure in our mind, that is the tacit knowledge that everybody has, and as cluster managers, as policymakers, about strategic things. So one concrete suggestion is how to improve this search for also the tacit knowledge that we have around the key question, of course. And this came to the second lesson for me, that we need to have more strategic foresight. That is one of the recommendations also of the expert groups. And this in order to try to try to anticipate other shocks, other disruption that we will have more in the next years, and try to be a bit more prepared. And the only way to do it is to continuous monitoring and to strategic foresight, and specific also, I will say, for each one of ecosystem of the cluster or in the industry. So this need to be specific. And one of the big project that I hope it will be, I will hope to see in the next years is to have this more and to do more strategic analysis on that. And the third for me is that we need a swift toward a more people-oriented, more social economy. And we need to put it in practice. I don't know, the initiative is, well, we will have to need to think more. I think that the concept like those of share value that, we have tried to support to diffuse in over the last years. We will have soon a publication early this, first quadrimester of this year, together with James, other colleagues, about the need of the role of share value in the industry transition. And I think that in any case, this is a bit reconnecting with the initial value that brings cluster, that also in the theory or industrial district in Italy were very linked to the territory, very linked to a community. And I think we explore more also under the academic point of view and in the practice too, this linkage between economy and the community in which the cluster are linked. So this is just my quick reaction, and we will talk more.
Perfect. Alberto, thank you very much. And as you say, the linking the social, in fact, is an ecosystem with the rest is an important aspect of what we can propose. Thank you very much. It's time to close, but we have not finished at all. We will continue. We continue next Thursday, next week. We will rearrange for sure our schedule. We start being flexible, sorry. So we will need to change our schedule just to face the need now, the need that we have of answering those three questions. I am sure that we will deliver one survey for the cluster community. We will organize, I will propose ECA members to organize some specific sessions with their networks. We will see how to explore it, how to answer these three questions as soon as possible, as best as possible. don't hesitate to contact me, us, Nina, with your suggestions quickly, because we need to move quickly. Again, thank you, Ula, thank you, Marek, thank you, every one of you. Please join us during the next sessions. Make this count, make this group powerful through your joint ideas, activities, suggestions, proposals. Thank you very much. See you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey.